What is going on, guys? Your boy Joe Shakes coming to you guys with the video right now. So I don't want people to think that this is a reach because I could take a similar situation in 2020 where we gave, ex-Eagles a call to come help, the offense back in 2020. You have Malcolm Jenkins in retirement right now, okay? There's always, a portion of what the Eagles could do if, they feel like they need more help and they don't want to trade for, a Clark, they don't want to trade for Chuck Clark or for the Ravens, or, they feel like, Epps really isn't the guy. If you guys remember, they tried getting Marcus Williams in free agency, but they couldn't get close to that 5-year, $70 million deal. They were almost there, but just couldn't grab him. So I feel like the Eagles are still looking for a safety at this point. Okay. Now, Marcus Epps is, obviously would be the starting safety next to Anthony Harris. And I think he had a really solid year last year. I think he'd be a nice role player. Now, I don't think he's getting to be an above average player. He's just there, but I think he's more of a role playing third safety at this point if somebody's in front of him. But had a really good year. Like I said, I give respect where respect is due and had a really solid year. But at this point, I think that the Eagles, they could, I'm not saying it's going to happen or, take this with a grain of salt, guys, but to call Malcolm Jenkins and say, hey, come back for one more year and, to see what we could do with this defense. Because at the end of the day, guys, Malcolm doesn't have to do much here because this defense, you got Hassan Reddick, you got Kaiser White. You got Nakobe Dean now that's in the mix that could be, moving from weak side to probably middle linebacker by the season starting. Your defensive line definitely got a big upgrade in Jordan Davis. You bring Derek Barnett back for depth purposes. So as of right now, like Malcolm could play that safety role, or he could be that, he can move around if they want him to move around too, because at this point of his career, Malcolm can't do everything on his own, okay? I don't think he's descending, but he's definitely getting up there in age to where you don't want to put too much on his plate. So the Eagles could bring him in on a one-year deal if they really want to, and it really won't be that expensive. It'll be within, $10 million at the end of the day, but this would be a thing that I think they could do. I'm not saying it's going to happen. If you guys remember in 2020 when Deshaun Jackson ended up getting hurt and he tried coming back and then he got it and then he was pretty much done after that. Not getting the hernia surgery, then got the hernia surgery, and then it was already hurt after all this other time. Whatever the surgery he had, I think it was he had some issues. And we lost our deep threat. The Eagles in 2020 actually called Torrey Smith, ex-Eagles wide receiver. Torrey Smith back from 2017, winning the Super Bowl with him. And they called him to see if he would come back. Now, Torrey Smith did actually have this news, came out and said that. And I remember, and he said no. So, it's not, a bad thing to ask. There are a lot of teams that bring guys out of retirement, like the Ravens I think the Ravens are bringing Marcel Darius that used to be with the Bills. He's coming out of retirement after 2 years. You never know if the Eagles want to call somebody. And they've called ex-Eagles, from the past to kind of come in and, produce for this offense or defense. And I think with Malcolm Jenkins coming into this defense, you have a lot more pieces now. A lot more pieces at linebacker. You upgrade your defensive line. He won't have to do that much. Back in 2017, we had a great pass rush. We had Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills as our cornerbacks. But to be honest with you, without Malcolm Jenkins, there's no Super Bowl. There were a lot of players, there's no Super Bowl because Malcolm, was the Band-Aid to our defense. He moved everywhere for certain matchups. Okay, could play any position. I think getting Malcolm Jenkins in an already pretty much well-built defense that's, striving to be better next year, this coming year in 22, I think would be good for him. I think, he wouldn't, you're not putting too much on his plate. I think it wouldn't really be a bad idea. I'm not trying to reach, guys. Like, the Eagles have tried bringing back ex-Eagles in the past. It's happened before. But they could give Malcolm a call. It really wouldn't surprise me if they did. And say, hey, look, come over, our defense got a lot better. You won't have to do too much and, you won't have to do everything. He could primarily be a safety, or if they want to move him around, they could do whatever they want and put Marcus Epps at that safety spot while Malcolm's moving around with a few other guys. You know what I mean? So, you got a lot of intricate, pieces that are going to be moving for, between linebacker, with Kaiser White can move around, especially Hassan Reddick is moving from Sam linebacker to edge rusher. They could do multiple fronts, different fronts. Adding Malcolm Jenkins is just a luxury player to be here and knows a lot of the players here. And there's a lot of new faces now on top of it. So, I don't think Anthony Harris is going to be enough. I don't know if Marcus Epps is going to be enough, but we'll find out. Like I said, Marcus Epps played very solid last year, but I think, he's capable of starting, but as I think the team is going to be well built around him defensively. I think he's a really good role player that can make big plays and get things done. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. But like I said, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to reach for anything. I mean, the Eagles have tried doing this before. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about Malcolm Jenkins coming back, if you think it's a possibility, and just give me your thoughts on it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.